Hey YouTube, John here. Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. I'm driving with version 11.3.1 testing roundabouts today. Here comes the first test. I'm approaching this intersection and a car comes right there on the left. Now watch, on the far left another car comes. They turn blue. My car hesitates for them even though they're not even coming into the roundabout. I have to press on the accelerator. Somebody is right behind me. And then right here, watch this, 11.10.6.5, it slows down considerably and it just kind of stalls out in the middle of the roundabout. Not appropriate. I did have to intervene for a second time to get it through. And just, this is what frustrates me about roundabouts, and it always has. It's not reliable. You do have to take over quite a bit to get through them. So here I lose my GoPro feed, but I'm going around the roundabout to go 360 degrees, so it's going all the way around. Coming up here, you can kind of get a drift of what's going on. It comes into the intersection, slows down. Now is time to go, but it doesn't go, so I have to intervene to push it. I was creating mixed signals and someone was coming up right behind me. Here I'm lucky. There are no cars around me, and it continues to go around. 14 miles per hour, 13.12, again slowing down, 13.12, slowing down again, 14.40. So that it remains kind of, okay, you just have to be very patient to use this. Let me just put it that way. It's not really smooth and ends up being pretty frustrating. So I did have to disengage. I'm coming around manually to do another test. So here, 270 degrees this time, so not going all the way around. So this is the third test. Coming through here, my visualizations freeze, and this is a recurring pattern, you'll notice. So the car right there in blue, it's pushing me from behind. They were coming up really close to me. I did have to intervene. It was slowing down too much, and it's very sensitive. So as a human driver, when it slows down even by 1 mile per hour, you feel that, and it's very noticeable. And it's like, no, you assume in your mind that it's going to slow down even more. Maybe it's not, but just to make sure, you always have to take over, otherwise you could really annoy other people. So here for the fourth test, it's waiting for this other car. Okay, finally they come through, so my car goes through and it stays in the center, which is good. Staying in the center of the roundabout. Coming around here, my visualizations freeze up. It's hard to say what's going on here, but it does make it through just fine. So you can call this a success. I do report it. Roundabouts are very awkward and jerky. Not appropriate. Roundabouts are very awkward and jerky, not appropriate. That was the voice feedback that I provided to Tesla in that moment. So here we are. Yay, we have the visualizations back. The GoPro camera has a fresh new battery inside of it now. So it gets out of that parking space really well. It goes around them, creeping forward for visibility, takes a right. Now it's in the far left lane coming through the roundabout. This is the fifth test. And coming up here, it stays in the far left lane. It hugs the center. Coming through here, 13, 12, 11, slowing down again, 11, 10, 9, 8. Now it's waiting for a gap. This is good. It's waiting for a gap, but then it needs to go right now. So I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to let it do what it was doing, but I didn't want to annoy those other people because it was obviously my turn to go through at that moment. So that is another intervention. So as I'm rerouting it to come around, I end up in this little kind of uncharted area. And I say to myself, you know what? Let's just see if I can get out of here. So I turn it on and look at the path. It's all over the place. Now, we need to go left. It's obvious to me. So it starts to go there, but watch this. It almost hits that trash can. I mean, we come extremely close. So that's the first legit disengagement. The car almost hit a trash can. So I do provide some feedback. I hope they can review it. Now, what's even worse is when you're in a parking lot. Sometimes it will do that, and it will get really close to another car. And considering the fact that my car is a 2019 build that has the ultrasonic sensors, there's really no excuse for that. The car should definitely be stopping much earlier for stuff like that. So here we are, test number 6, coming into the roundabout. Now, we're just going in and out of it. So this is a really simple maneuver. I mean, given there's no traffic there coming for a split second, and sure enough, we get a gap. It goes for it. Success. So that is 2 out of 6 that have been successful. Now, out of the 2 that were successful, one of them was very awkward, and the second one was really simple. So let's just keep that in mind. Here we come up for test number 7. So I'm waiting for the GPS to recalculate, and you can see the map data is still not updating. We've got quite a bit of traffic now. It's 6:39 p.m. I love that it's light out now with the time change. Usually at 6:30 or 6:40 p.m. it would be pitch black, but here we're going 360 degrees through here, so it stays in the center, exactly what it needs to do. Lane selection is very good, very appropriate. Comes here really nicely, 15, 16 miles per hour, 15, those slowdowns, that's what you got to look for. 14, no, 13, 11, so there I had to take over. It started to go down with the speed again. It started slowing down. So these are the moments where you just have to bite your lip, and it's just like, you want to just let it be stupid, but you can't, because it's just super annoying. And if you were another driver, you'd be honking at someone if they did stupid stuff like that. So the fact that I had the GoPro camera mounted on top of my car, I've had some friends comment, they've seen my car, and they're like, is that the Google Maps car? I mean, it looks like a legit test vehicle. So there I had to step on it to push it through the intersection, unfortunately, to get it going. Once it gets in here, we get lucky with the rest of the traffic. So take a look at the speed again, 16, 15, 16, good. When it goes up or stays the same, that's good. So it wasn't too bad there, but just getting into the intersection, I had to step on the accelerator. But yeah, most of the people that are seeing my car, they're realizing that something's going on. So they're giving me a little bit of a break. And I debated for a long time. Look at this. So it moves into the left lane here at the last second, and we're going straight through. Now here comes a car on the left. It waits for them. I went back and forth on a bumper sticker, but look at that. It aborts that center lane at the last second, ditches it, and then comes over here. So I call it a success. That was borderline awkward, but certainly simpler than the others. We were just going straight, basically. So as long as you're lucky with the traffic for that split second, I think you're okay. So coming up here for another 270-degree test. So it slows down here. If someone was behind me, okay, now that car was coming up there, and they were waiting for me. They purposefully slowed down, waiting for me to go through, and my car was not taking the cue. And then here it just kind of stalls out and it was like in the middle of the lanes. So again, awkward and required an intervention. Okay, and coming up here now, we're doing another 270-degree move through the intersection. And coming up here, I do show it well in advance, because watch this. It changes lanes to get behind this truck. It was a little bit late to do that, but watch what it does. It changes back, and then back, it's all over the map, right? It just irritates me watching this again. So there's the car on the right, so they legitimately should have honked at me. So, okay. That's the 4th success out of 11, but that's being generous. I mean, those 2 of them, if not 3, were really inappropriate. Only 1 was successful, and the path was so short. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a roundabout maneuver. So, not very good success rate. So here I'm at this light. I show this section just to prove that, watch this, I can cycle power to the car while it's running beta, and it will keep in its lane. It will move forward, maintain the right speed. It will change lanes. It will do everything that beta does while the screen is resetting. So this just goes to prove that you do not need the visualizations to run beta. So even though the beta visualizations are delayed and kind of buggy right now, it has no binding whatsoever on the operation of beta. So just so everybody's aware of that. So here the screen is coming back. You can see the Tesla logo. It's ever so faint on the screen there. But while that Tesla logo comes up, you do get your turn signals back. So just prior to that, if the car is changing lanes or doing anything, you don't hear any sounds in the cabin. So here, slowing down at this light, maintaining the distance, it's driving just as it would normally, but you don't get any indication. And it's a bit frightening the first time you experience this, because it's like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to drive. Now, thankfully, this is not a normal situation. I mean, you would never be cycling power to your screen. But I do this just to show you that it is possible. This is something that you can do. So don't be afraid if you lose power to your car. It's still going to drive. It's still going to operate. You can put it into drive. You can put it into reverse. You can change lanes. The turn signals work. So if you're outside of the vehicle, you'll see them, the lights turning on and off. Your headlights are still on. Everything is still operational. So here we turn left, and I almost hit a curb here. It gets really close for comfort. It's been a long time since I've gotten that close to a curb. Now, maybe it wouldn't have hit it, but I wasn't willing to risk it. So that basically brings us to the end of our tests with 8 interventions, 2 disengagements, one being that last curb avoidance, and the other one being that back neighborhood area where it almost hit the trash can. So, I mean, those weren't like disaster moments in the middle of the roundabout, thankfully, but 4 out of 11 successful roundabouts, 2 that were very awkward, and then 2 kind of shorter paths. So overall, I would say that this is definitely not ready for prime time. You cannot rely on beta to go through roundabouts. Please stay tuned for my next video on how FSD Beta 11.3.1 performs during U-turns. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.